Hey everyone, have I here bring a video on Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. In this video, we're going to be going over the best April Fool's celebrations in the history of Dokkan. So with that, if you're new to my channel, like, subscribe, comment below, do all that good stuff. Let's go ahead and dive right in. So yes, we're a few days removed from April Fool's, April 1st, but it is a tradition that Dokkan creates these campaigns, these celebrations, which gathers, free-to-play units, which gives us these themes or these concepts that game modes that possibly can come about we can play, but of course we can never do so. So it is a fun tradition that they have. On top of that, for me personally, I have a tradition of making a video about a unit that might be coming out, and some of you guys get fooled on that, some of you guys don't, but hopefully you guys enjoy that video. If you haven't seen this year's, go ahead and check that out. I do talk about other things after the fooling part, so try to watch the entire video there. But in this video, we are going to rank the best, or in my opinion, the best campaigns or celebrations for April Fools. But before we do that, I'm going to take you down a stroll down memory lane and go over basically each year's concepts. So the first year actually was 2016, and it wasn't a full-on celebration, but it provided us some amazing units that I think are still very classic when it comes to April 1st, April Fool's types of units that we would like to see, and that was the World Tournament Yamcha, and then the Saiyan Saga Yamcha, the AGL one, and that is Dead Yamcha, and that is still top-notch Hall of Fame card art for Dokkan. And yeah, it's something that if you guys don't have, you guys should be trying to capture. Usually during April Fools, you can go ahead and get these units here. But yeah, Dead Yamcha is top tier, and we'll see where they end up ranking, because I am going to rank on not only campaigns but the units that we get and nostalgia and stuff like that, because it is way back in 2016 when this all started. So the first year they ended up like changing the menu screen and doing a bunch of different things was in 2017, and that was the Cybermen campaign, right? So we ended up getting the STR Cybermen here, and this was very funny because we ended up getting a unit that is really unusable, but it was like this game mode that they're like talking about. I was like, is this real? This is probably the first time people were like, okay, what's going on here? But of course the game mode wasn't playable, but we ended up getting this free-to-play Cyberman. And for you OG players out there, you guys remember gathering normal Cybermen with that 1% chance to increase super attack and flooding like 80 Cybermen in on the STR one to try to increase their super attack, because back in the day, like Kais were very valuable, like Elder Kais, so you weren't going to use those in that unit. So so that's what we did, was try to feed as many Cybermen as possible, increasing with that 1% chance. And some of us got to 3 or even 4 before you just kind of gave up, and we ended up using actual Kais to get this up to SA10. So, but anyway, this was a Cybermen one, very nostalgic, and really the first one that changed campaigns and title screens and things of that nature, which then followed up by, I would say, one of the worst ones, and that is the Dolly Battle. So the Dolly Battle here, I guess the concept wasn't too bad, right? With all the ladies, but the unit that we ended up getting was very odd. It was literally no stats. There's none. It was unusable. It was just like, Happy April Fool's Day 2018, and here you go. So it would have been nice to find a way to go ahead and awaken, do something different, but ultimately it was pretty lackluster in this 2018 April Fools here. So yeah, unusable unit. I don't even know if it's obtainable now, so it is a trophy for someone who's been playing for a very long time, having this Dolly Battle card with Bulma featured at front. So moving on to 2019 was actually a unit that you can actually, 2 units that you can actually use, and that was the 8-bit retro mode Goku and Vegeta. This was actually very nice because these units ended up awakening and easying as well. So some free-to-play players actually use these units on their teams, and some certain fights you kind of had to use them for free-to-play. They were kind of required in a few fights. But so this was something I think they went a total 180 from the previous year, from an unusable unit to actually usable units for the April Fool's celebration. So I think this was very, very good, and one of my favorites still to this day. Let's go ahead and now move on to 2020. So 2020 was pretty awesome. I still remember like the community going, wow, they actually need to do this, and that is Dokkan Race. Dokkan Race, for Mario Kart fans out there, basically was the Dokkan version of Mario Kart, and it looked incredible. The animation that they had for this, I was like, this has to be a thing. And you look at the characters that you can use. It was pretty awesome. Look at Police Krillin over there. Yeah, it's still one of my favorite concepts, if not the favorite concept. And the card was actually looks really good too, with the Bulma and the scooter there. So yeah, it's top notch Dokkan Race. I think they could actually make this game, and it would sell a lot if they could figure this out here, or even make it a real game mode. So this was one of the first ones that people were like just all in for the Dokkan Race game mode. So moving on to 2021 was another kind of disappointing. I'm not a big zombie guy, so the Dokkan of the Dead was kind of funny, and but the really weird thing about this was we didn't get the unit, the free-to-play Gohan unit for this, until like 4/9. So it was like a week after, where you're doing the Parade of the Dead. So it was very strange how they kind of created and dealt with this campaign. So wasn't a huge fan. Again, not a big zombie fan. We didn't get anything right off the bat on 4/1. So yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of Dokkan of the Dead. Move on to 2022 was probably even worse. I barely even remember this. The Power Brothers, and this was Dokkan Exercise. Yeah, another concept where like, Dokkan Race was like, give that to me now. We can care less about having the Dokkan Exercise. So not too sure who created this one, but definitely not one of my favorites, and that's pretty much all I have to say about that. Moving on to 2022 was the Dokkan Fishing. This was pretty cool. I think most people would have had a good time, doing this as well, for, maybe some Zelda fans out there, and do some fishing and capturing some fishes and seeing what you score, stuff like that. And this was actually the introduction of the Super Saiyan Goku, which is now this year we're actually awakening, and we'll talk about this year's in a second. But I think Dokkan Fishing was at least okay, right? So moving on now to this year's was Dokkan City. Now again, we didn't really technically get a free-to-play unit right away, which you would expect this Hercule to be the free-to-play unit. We ended up getting the Awakening to the last year's AGL Super Saiyan Goku, and technically a new unit if you're summoning on the banners in the Super Saiyan Hercule. So I think we might still get a Super Saiyan Hercule, but they might treat it like the when I was talking about the Dawn of the Dokkan of the Dead, where we get a unit like a week later. So we still might get that. So again, I'm assuming that might happen. So I might rank it. I like Dokkan City. I think, for SimCity players out there and stuff like that, this is kind of a funny concept. So ultimately, these are the units / this year's kind of a question mark on there. And now it's time to rank them and see where, my favorite ones are. So let's go ahead and move into the ranking. So starting on the bottom ranking, so there's 9 campaigns, right? So technically 8 campaigns, but I am counting the Dead Yamcha, right? So coming in number 9, I think, is Dokkan Exercise. I found it to be not exciting at all. So Power Brothers, stuff like that, that's not my thing. Then number 8 is the Dokkan of the Dead. Again, not a zombie guy. It was very weird that they ended up providing that unit later on. So yeah, wasn't a fan of that. Number 7, the Dolly Battle. Again, the concept wasn't too bad, but the free-to-play unit was the worst out of the bunch, right? So unusable, no stats, no nothing. It was just, here you go, and it's a collector's item for sure. Coming number 6 would be the Dokkan Fishing. I actually like that concept and the unit of itself. Now you're awakening it, so I just put him 6, because then number 5, of course, would be this year's in Dokkan City, but we don't know the rest of the details. So if we don't get like a free-to-play unit in a week from now and stuff like that, I'll definitely move them down 1, and then put Dokkan Fishing on top of Dokkan City. So that's how I would rank them if we don't actually get something for free to play. So one of the first years that we wouldn't have gotten it, so that would be very strange. Number 4, again for nostalgia purposes, is Cyberman. The whole 1% SA thing there. It just puts a smile on my face. When I do see that unit in my box, it's brings back long time memories. Coming number 3 are the most probably usable units. I guess with the new Super Saiyan Goku, he's very usable. But back in the day, you're actually using those units. It's Easy 8, and that's the 8-bit retro mode Goku and Vegeta. So coming number 2 and 1, I'm gonna have to give number 1 spot to Dokkan Race. That is just the best concept out of all of them. And then we're gonna put at number 2 is the one that doesn't really have a concept, but probably has the best card in the Dead Yamcha, right? That's, again, in my opinion. So those are my rankings here. I think Dokkan Race is the best April Fool's concept to date, overall, even with the unit and the look of it. Make it happen, Dokkan. Make it happen, Katsuki and Bandai. It'll be a top seller if there's a Mario Kart version of Dragon Ball characters. So anyway, just wanted to make this video here. I thought I'd have a good time with April Fools, and again, if you haven't seen my video, go ahead and check that out, and let me know your rankings in the comment section below. So with that, if you're new to my channel, like, subscribe, comment below, do all that good stuff. Thank you all for watching. Keep on Dokkaning, and we'll catch you next time. Later.